Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit of $200. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back. All from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the feature race at Belmont at the Big A on Friday. It's race number 8. We're going 6 furlongs on the outer turf. It's the Glen Cove for 3-year-old fillies. Let's take a peek at this field. It's a pretty good group led by the number 1 Poppy Flower, who's going to be seeking her 3rd stakes victory of 2022. And when she's right, she packs a stretch wallop.
She's been really good this year. Sort of changed her running style since Belmont took over. She was a speed horse as a 2-year-old. They've started, letting her sit back and make one run this year. So I think she's been really good, Dan.
Not sure how this pace is going to play out. We'll throw up the Timeform US Pace Projector. The 2 horses expected to make the lead. Well, they've never raced on turf before. The 2 Everyoneloveslinda has won her last 2 races on the main track. The 7 Girl with a Dream is a graded stakes winner on the main track. She's got a little turf in her pedigree, and her tactical speed should have her in a good spot early.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, there are a few horses in here who are, coming back to turf, either making their turf debuts or coming back to turf for the first time in a while in here, and all of them have speed. I would expect one of those 3 to be forward in here.
Poppy Flower, the number 1, though, is the horse to beat. Again, 2 stakes wins already this year. Last time out at Kentucky Downs, they tried to stretch her out 6.5 over a very testing turf course. I guess she ran okay. I'm going to consider the Galway 2 starts back more. That was the race at Saratoga where she worked out an in-out trip, and once she got into the clear, she ran them right over.
Yeah, she was really impressive winning that race 2 starts back. I thought she ran fine last time, but like you, even though she lost as the favorite, I don't want to be too hard on her for it. Really good 2 back. I thought she ran another nice race at Saratoga prior to that in the Coronation Cup. She's just in good form right now, Dan. And I don't really see why 6 would be a big problem for her.
The 2 is Everyoneloveslinda. She's shown speed on the main track. She gets an aggressive rider in Kendrick Carmouche. She is going to try this off of about a 4-month layoff, however. Her sire has done good work with turf horses from a limited sample. I just wish there was a little bit more on the bottom of this pedigree for turf. I'm taking a wait-and-see approach, even though she should be a square price, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't like her enough to really want to get behind her here. Secret Circle somehow has been a really good sire of turf sprinters, but there's nothing else really to go on.
Stepping up in class is the number 3, Music Amore, who was claimed last time out by Bob Klosaris out of a 2-turn sprint at Timonium. She ran okay on the dirt that day, and she's run okay on all 3 surfaces, whether it be synthetic at Presque Isle Downs, dirt, or on turf. She does have speed, and if these dirt horses don't show speed, maybe she can be up front and last for a minor award at the very least.
Yeah, I thought she could be forward in this race. I don't love her turf form, although she did win on the surface, and it was, way back in January. So maybe she's just a way better horse now, Dan. I think she can handle this 6 furlong distance. I just feel like she's landed in a pretty tough spot here.
I like what Leo Giamatti's doing with the 4 sailed by, cutting her back in distance. She's run some good races sprinting in her career. Yes, they tried her going middle distances, and they tried her against some decent competition in both the Lake Placid and the Pebbles. Maybe she was in too tough. Maybe it was a bit too far. Class and distance relief work. Now give her some pace.
Yeah, I don't mind her cutting back for this race. I can't say that I love either of her last 2 races. She did make an early move in the Lake Placid before she gave way. I didn't see her excuse last time. I just don't really feel like she ran that well. So it bothers me that I don't feel like she's necessarily coming into this in great form, but I do like her cutting back.
Really good trainer Michael Trombetta is going to try turf again with the 5. Half is enough, even though her race in the Galway behind Poppy Flower doesn't look great on paper. I think she has a legitimate excuse in that she likes to get forward in her races, and that just couldn't happen the way she broke that day. Her next start in the Prioress, she was completely overmatched against dirt horses. She fits here. She has to show she can step on the lawn.
Yeah, she has a lot to prove. That's all you can really say about her. I liked her first 4 starts of her career. I thought she ran well in all of them. They're on dirt, obviously, although she had a great trip in the victory ride and just really wasn't good enough to get the job done. I didn't see her do any running at all 2 starts back when they tried her on turf. So it doesn't give me high hopes that she's better on this surface, and she has to be better.
2-month layoff for the 6, Gal in a Rush, who did some good things last year as a 2-year-old on turf. And that Stuart Manor looked like she was going nowhere fast on the second turn. but once she straightened away into the stretch, she started grinding it out, and she ran pretty well to be third. She's had 3 starts this year. The excuse, obviously, for her first race was off turf. Then they ran her at Woodbine, and she ran just fine. I think a mile's just not her game right now. She was disappointing as the favorite, but this turnback works for her.
It does. Yeah, I think cutting back could be, the right thing to do here. I guess she ran fine 2 starts back up in Canada. My problem with her, Dan, is the 2 races last year, the Matron and then the Stewart Manor, where she was really close at the end. I didn't think she ran great either time, and I don't think it was as close as either of those margins of defeat would make it look. It looks like she almost won each time. I didn't think she almost won either of those races, and there was never a point in either of them where I thought she was going to win.
Girl with a Dream, the 7, coming off about a 7-month layoff. She won the Grade 3 Forward Gal on dirt 2 starts back, a race in which she shook loose early. There's a chance that could happen in this spot. They ran her in the Devona Dale. It was a 1-turn mile against a hot filly in Kathleen O. Something must have happened because she went away for a long time. There's some turf on the bottom of this pedigree all the way back, and the dam also I have to one of my favorites, Mr. Commons.
Yeah, the Dams will have to a couple of stakes winners on the grass. So there's a little pedigree there. This horse has ability on dirt. She's got some speed as well. She's coming back off of a layoff here. We'll see what kind of price she goes off at. I mean, I guess you can't take too much money in here, Dan, but Irad's riding. I don't know. If she was some kind of big price, I would keep an open mind, but I couldn't really talk myself into her.
Brad Cox trains. This horse looks like she's been working pretty well down at Churchill Downs. Zelda's interesting, making her North American debut for Christophe Clement. This horse ran 6th 2 starts back in the French 1,000 Guineas. It was a race where she might have lost most of her chance at the start. She kind of got cut off. Then the trip worked out, in-out trip. She was running on at the end of that race. Last time out was a stakes race. She was the beaten favorite on firm going. Maybe she likes it with a little cut in the ground.
Yeah, based on her PPs, she might like a little cut in the ground. I actually felt like the Group 1 2 back. I thought she ran pretty well in there. I don't like her other 2 starts this year, but she ran pretty well 2 back, and she was good as a 2-year-old. I liked all of her races as a 2-year-old. Sprinting, she has a bit of a versatile running style. There are things to like about this horse.
Tasweya, the number 9, was beaten by Music Amore last time out, but that race was on dirt. Let's go back to her start 2 back on turf. This is the Christiana Stakes at Delaware, and Jacques, I thought, gave her a pretty clever ride. Got to the front, tried to open it up on a rated pace, and she's really game in the stretch to finish second. She has done some good work on turf in the past. The Christiana, of course, is a mile and a 16th race, but go back to her career debut. She beat weaker horses going 5/8 at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to maybe just try to find a way to use her somewhere at a big price. I'm not sure that she's good enough. I think this is a pretty tough race for her. But her turf form overall is pretty good, and I don't mind them cutting her back to sprint in this race. I actually really liked her debut when she won at the Meadowlands. She was still a little green in that race, but she looked good winning.
Completing the field is the number 10, Wonka, lightly raced filly trained by Belmont. She's going to be cutting back in distance for the first time. She's run 7/8 of a mile 2 starts back, and she ran okay in that Soaring Softly. Last time out in the risk averse, she faced a nice one in Gina Romantica, who we'll see over the weekend in the QE2 Cup. And I thought she ran okay. She swung about 4 or 5 wide turning into the stretch, and she kept on plugging in between horses.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought she ran okay. I didn't think she ran great last time, but I thought she ran okay, and it was off of a little bit of a layoff. I thought her Soaring Softly was actually an underrated performance. They rode her very conservatively in that race, and she was making up a lot of ground at the end. I thought that was an underrated effort. She showed potential in her first 2 starts. We'll see about the cutback for her to 6, but I think this filly has a chance to be all right.
Top pick time for our Friday feature at Belmont at the Big A, the Glen Cove. We're both going to go with Wonka. I think we've both seen enough throughout her career that she's got some ability. It's just how will she handle this sharp distance. If there's pace, I expect her to run on at the end of this race. I really think pace is the key to this entire race.
I do too, and I felt like Wonka, at least to me, from what I've seen from her, I thought she was handy enough to handle the cutback. We'll see. They can't ride her as conservatively as they did going 7 2 starts back, but I don't think they have to either. I just think she's a really nice fit in this race, Dan, and I kind of just didn't want to take Poppy Flower on top again at a short price.
10-1-8-4 for Mike, 10-6-1-4 for me. It's the feature at Belmont at the Big A on Friday, the Glen Cove. Good luck.